So let's look at temperament. Temperament basically is how you react to situations. It's linked to personality. People believe that your temperament is something that is genetically with you from the time you're born, basically from your autonomic nervous system, right? So your sense of arousal, what happens when you get excited, what happens when you get frustrated, what happens, how long does it take you to calm down? Do you take days and you're still talking about the thing that you lost your pencil, your favorite pencil, right? Or do little things not bother you at all? It's the big things that you deal with, right? People have different kinds of temperament, and it becomes part of your personality style. Some people who are very, able to moderate this are easy to get along with. Some people are very difficult. Some people are very wary of people. So Thomas and Chess identified 3 different patterns of children. And of course, we all want to give birth to the easy child. But there are also those who are difficult and slow to warm. So these are biologically based differences in children's emotional reactivity and the ability to regulate their temperament or their emotions. So here are the 3 patterns here. I'm just going to define them here. So the easy baby is exactly that. Regular patterns of eating, sleeping, toilet training wasn't an issue. They're able to adapt to any new situation. So you bring them to daycare, they fit right in. You bring them to a neighbor's, they make friends readily. They don't react, very much to startle or to crying fits of, extreme, holding their breath and throwing tantrums. They are the perfect child. 40% of babies. Difficult, not so much. Less predictable. They withdraw from new situations, don't want to get involved. They might even cry, refuse to go. You're standing outside and the child is kicking, doesn't want to get out of the car. Reacts intensely to any change. So again, may be prone to temper, to fits of, just outright emotional display. And again, this is 10% of infants. You often see these people, these babies, with their parents in the grocery stores and in the malls. And when this kid wants to have the toy and they can't get the toy, this is when it comes out, right? Frantically kicking and screaming that their whole life has just now been shattered. And the poor mother has to try and, deal with the kid in public, right? Slow to warm, again, 15%. This child adapts poorly to changing situations, is not very active, but they will warm up after a while. So let's say you bring this child to a neighbor's house, or you bring them to, let's say, relatives that they haven't seen for a while, and everybody's fussing over them. They might shy away, maybe even cry at that. But if you leave them alone and they're able to just explore a bit, they will, little by little, start to warm up, and then they become quite friendly, right? So, I don't like to actually, not everybody fits easily into these categories, and there may be some overlap depending on the situation, of course, right? But for the most part, these seem to be 3 general ways that you can put people or children into these categories. This term down here, degree of goodness of fit, this, of course, depends on this symbiotic or interaction between the primary caregiver and the child. So if I have a temperament that is compatible with my child, then of course it might moderate it a bit. Let's say I am very high strung and very no patience at all, and I have this baby, right? That may make things a lot worse, where I'm going to start yelling and screaming, and that may make things even exacerbate these symptoms, as opposed to somebody who is more, let's say, less high strung, more patient, able to deal with the child effectively, and that might make this a little bit better. So again, depending on the temperament of the parent, this goodness of fit will determine how, let's say, severe or what end of the continuum these are going to be on. All right? And that would make sense. Stability seems to be moderately stable. So as you were when you were born, yeah, go ahead. Well, yeah, there would be other categories, but again, these are, it's not so much that the rest isn't able to, this is just in general. Not everyone is that readily, let's say, described, okay? I know what you're saying, but it's really hard to put people into these categories that perfectly fit. Other children may show more of the overlap we're talking, might be not as easy to pinpoint it, but these categories, in these percentages, it's quite readily apparent what they are, all right? Yeah. And other researchers may have different terms as well. This is just the one, I can't go into all of them. I think your book talks about a couple more, but these are the ones that are the most mainstream from Thomas and Chet.